Good evening everyone and welcome to round 10 of the 2012 Simrace GPVWC Super League. I am Scott Woodward. Apologies for the delay in the broadcast coming up. I had some problems trying to get this broadcast set up, as we ever do. You join us here roughly about 9 minutes into qualify, 9 minutes left to qualify I should say, and the man you're looking at the moment is the man on pole position as per usual. It is Lucas Euler, should we say. Of course, we're at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. We're using the brand new wing layout. We're using the brand new pits complex. And let's quickly take you through the top 10 that we have at the moment at this point. We currently have Lucas Euler top on a 1:27.997. Only man in the 1:27s at the moment. Nick Rowland, his Midnight Motorsport teammate, sits second on a 1:28.5. Then we have Lee Morris in third place. And he is sat there on a 1:28.880. It's not too far off Nick Rowland's time. Fourth is OJ Clark for Red Archer on a 1:29.025. Fifth is Ruud Heesterbeek on a 1:29.119. Sixth is David Junt in the second Red Archer, 1:29.873. Seventh is Simon Cattell, 1:30.203. Then we've got Tom Parker on a 1:30.6. Then we have Lewis Redshaw on a 1:30.614. And then we've got Keith Story rounding out the top 10. Good effort from him to get into the top 10 on a 1:30.705. Now, of course, this is a race where we've got quite a few English drivers in the field. Running them down from the fastest I can see in the order at the moment. They are as follows. English drivers we have in the field, there's quite a lot. We have Nick Rowland, Lee Morris, OJ Clark, Simon Cattell, Tom Parker, Lewis Redshaw, Keith Story, Mark Stanton, Ben Warren, David Stanton, Daniel Lovett, Jeff Mead, Mark Wicks, Scott Bennett, Wesley Morris, Dave Carl Smith. Those are the drivers that we have all from Britain. So they're on their home turf and hoping to put in the best performance that they can. So if we can quickly switch it to another driver. Let's quickly pop to third place, Lee Morris, who's on a lap at the moment. And we'll go on board with him here. So let's look at some drivers that are going to be popping some of these cars. We've got Wesley Morris in a Synergetic car for this race. He's currently 21st on the grid at the moment. Scott Bennett is obviously currently back in the ST Racing car again. He's alongside Jeff Mead this time instead of Mark Fuller. Let's see who we've got on here as well. We've only got one Nordstern again, that's Pavlonovsky. Not quite sure where Jarl Tian is. And looking again through the field, we've got pretty much, apart from that, business as usual. Only driver not set a time so far, one of the top drivers is Dave Carl Smith, who's currently on a lap at the moment. We've got Lee Morris then, you're watching on screen, you're on board with him now as he heads down towards he heads into the pits on that lap. So we're going to see if we can quickly jump with Mr. Dave Carl Smith. Here he is. We'll go for a lap of the Silverstone circuit, then into turn 1, this brand new Abbey corner, flying through here, probably about 6th gear or so. Then if you farm curve flat out 170, 180 odd miles an hour, brake hard for the village corner as Carl Smith swoops in. And then through the loop, slowest corner on the circuit, prime overtaking spot, then flat through Aintree curve here, onto the Wellington straight, and this will come to the end of the first sector, they sweep underneath the bridge. Then I'll head up towards the now elongated Brooklands corner. It's usually the straight that's used by the national circuit, but they've changed it now on this layout so it incorporates it into the Grand Prix layout. Through left field, second gear corner, back on the power early, and flat out through Woodcote onto the old pit straight, which is supposed to be now the support pits, and up towards Copse. Fast corner as ever. If you're brave, you can take it flat, and through there I believe that Carl Smith did take it flat, if not maybe just a little lift. Heading up towards this fantastic section of Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel, fling it through Maggots flat out, down to 5th for Beckett's and then down to 4th or 3rd for Chapel over the curbs as well. And then onto the hangar straight, into the second sector. He's only just under 6/10 of a second off that fastest time, so he's going to head down towards the very fast Stowe corner, flick it down about 3 gears, and fling it in roughly about 4th or 5th gear, and again up to about 6th, and just then down to 2nd as they head down towards through Vale. And through the last couple of corners, this double apex now club corner, it wasn't all one corner. Clip the second apex, goes to the edge of the track and across the line, and Carl Smith puts himself second. That's an excellent lap from Carl Smith, getting himself second, 1:28.517. He's only 3.5 tenths off, so he's actually found 3/10 of a second. That's impressive. He actually found half the time he was down, and he found it in the last sector, which is an excellent performance then from Dave Carl Smith. Who else have we got on a lap as they go round? We've got Lucas Oil, I think, has just maybe start another lap. I see Lee Morris has dropped down to 5th place, while we've got James Shepherd up to 4th. That's a pretty excellent effort from him. Let's see if Lucas Oil is on a lap. You know he's currently doing an outlap at the moment. It's quickly competing through this top 10. Carl Smith's on another lap as well. I think he's backed off, of course. Oh, Rowland, look at that. Nick Rowland very, very wide off the track, almost over the sleeping policeman there on the exit of Copse, but he flings it through the Magnus Beckson Chapel section. What a fantastically high-speed section that is. Silverstone, personally, is one of my favourite circuits on the calendar, and it really is a circuit that it's one of the circuits that stood the test of time. It held the first ever FIA official Formula 1 World Championship event in 1950. It's gone through many changes, and this is the current layout that we have with that fantastic new wing building that they've managed to gratefully recreate for us in this version of the circuit. Anyways, Nick Rowland speeds into the pits. With some other cars out on track. We've got there's James Shepherd out on track. Look at that. He's only just about 0.2 of a second down in the first sector, so we'll quickly jump on board with him. And he flies through Magus, through the complex here. And look at that second sector there from Lucas Euler. Again, it's amazing to me just how quickly he really can be. He's now half a second down the fastest time. Now this time, I think, if he can hold that, if he holds that time there, he will be. He's battling now for third place on the grid now with Nick Rowland. That's a fantastic time by Dave Carl Smith. Just snatch all places. Shepherd goes over the grass and aborts the lap immediately. So he obviously knew that lap wasn't going to end particularly well. So we can see who else we've got on a particularly decent lap. Let's have a look at Ruud Heasterbeek. Of course, he's always a dark horse in these races here. He's currently now about, say, 0.4 of a second down in Sector 1. He's heading up towards Copse. Incredibly quick corner that. And we're going to be going for some 50-odd laps. Of course, we're here at Silverstone. In real-life Formula 1, we had the British Grand Prix recently, which Fernando Alonso, Mark Webber actually won it. And that was besieged by rain and thunderstorms. Thankfully, because there's no rain or weather simulated in our factor, we have indeed got blue skies and sunshine, a few clouds in the graphics in the sky there. And Heasterbeek then heads up towards a few corners. Now then, where's his time going to put him? Has he been able to find any more time and get himself into the 128? The answer to that question is no. In fact, that's quite a poor time. 128 point. Well, not a poor time. He's slower than by about half a second through his best. But we'll see if we've got anyone else on a hot lap at all. We've actually got Lucas Euler heading through the final few corners. Is he on a quite quicker lap? He is indeed. Look at that. He was green on that second sector. He comes up towards the final sector here and across the line, and he goes even quicker still into the 127s. 127.986. What a lap time that was. He's put himself way, way top. In fact, I think he's gone slightly quicker by about another tenth or so. So I think he was the only person in the 128s. He's now the only person in the 127s now. So really, Lucas Euler fails to amaze us all. And what's intriguing is that battle for second place between Carl Smith and Rowland. Now, Rowland himself is out of the final sector. Look at that. He's only 200th of a second off of Euler's time in the first sector. So you can see these two are matching themselves blow for blow in the first sector. It seems to be in the middle sector where Euler has the better advantage and is able to utilise the grip better. He's more comfortable with the setup as Rowland flings it through Maggots and now through Beckett's and now through Chapel. And where on the second sector is he? How much time has he lost in the second sector? Well, he's lost a couple of tenths on that one. He'll be able, if he stays where he is on this lap now at the moment, he'll be able to get himself closer and back onto the front row. But of course, we've got to watch with Dave Carl Smith and see exactly how quickly he's been travelling. I'm trying to keep an eye on him on the screen here as Rowland now heads up towards Vale and back up towards Club. Carl Smith is now heading now through the complex at the moment. We're watching Nick Rowland as he comes across the line. And the lap time it is, he stays third. He lost himself about 0.4 of a second through that final sector. We're now going to quickly switch now to Dave Carl Smith. He's down by 1.1 seconds at the moment in that first in the first two sectors, but he's lost quite a bit of time, especially in that second sector. Plus, maybe had a dodgy first sector. I didn't quite see it because we were watching Nick Rowland ahead. But Carl Smith trying to cement his second place on the grid to try and see if he can get a better start than Euler. Although we know him in the past doesn't have the most better starts, but he comes across the line. And of course, Carl Smith stays second, 129.153. So that's about 0.6 slower than what he's managed so far in he's best in qualifying. Lee Morris, I can see on my screen, is heading into the pits. We've got OJ Clark is in the pits, currently in 6th. We've got James Shepherd, who is, I think, is he heading out on track? I think he is possibly because he's now out there on his tyres. Now we've got also, looking at Dave Carl Smith here across the line. Look at that, he's only a tenth off. But we've now got Nick Rowland on our lap, and he's being bulked by one of the Kono Sport cars. He'll get a tow onto the hangar straight, though, and he's only down by about a tenth. So that tow, in some cases, has helped him. I didn't quite catch just how quick he went into the first sector, but he's definitely on. It seems to be in these last two sectors where Euler has the advantage. He always seems to be on circuits where he has a bigger advantage over his rival, especially including his teammate. But Roland would love to get himself a home win, as would Dave Carl-Smith. But it may be that the Euler could spoil the party again today. But across the line goes Roland, and he goes to second. He goes on the front row with a 1:28.376. An excellent effort from him. Now then, what response has Carl-Smith got at the moment? He's actually, look at that, he's 1.9 seconds off on this lap, so he's not going to do it. So it looks like the session is now over, the checkered flag is out. I think there's a bit of a twitch through Stowe, and yes, Carl-Smith has now aborted that lap, so he's decided to save himself on that one. But we do now have a grid for the race. If there's anyone else out there on a lap, I don't think there is. We're coming on Mark Stanton, but he's now going to pull into the pits, I believe. We've got David Junt as well, so everyone is now just pulling into the pits now. And that is qualifying practically over. And we've got 23 cars racing tonight. And Christoph Lichtenstein did not get a lap in, which is a bit interesting. But there we go. So let's run you down then the qualifying positions as you see them on the screen here. And we have Lucas Euler on pole position with a 1:27.986. Only driver in the 1:27s. His teammate Nick Rowland with a fantastic final effort to put himself on the front row alongside his teammate. 1:28.376. Then we have Dave Carl-Smith third. 1:28.5. James Shepard fourth, 1:28.7. Lee Morris fifth on the 1:28.8. Then we've got OJ Clark sixth, 1:28.9. Ruth Easterbeek seventh, 1:29.0. Then David John eighth, 1:29.8. Lewis Redshaw ninth, 1:29.887. And then Tom Parker, the first of the guys into the 1:30s, 1:30.063. Quickly then the rest of the field, because as we see at the moment, and we'll remind you of the field as we're on the warm-up lap. Simon Cattell is 11th, Keith Story for Drag Racing 12th. Mark Stanton 13th, Kieran Ryan 14th, Pavel Aronofsky 15th, Brett Ben Warren 16th, David Stanton 17th, Jeff Mead 18th, Daniel Lovett 19th, Mark Wicks 20th, Scott Bennett 21st, Wesley Morris 22nd, and Christoph Lichtenstein, as we said, who did not set a time, is 23rd. So that's that then. Give a quick shout out to our sponsors, of course, that we have here at GPVWC. Of course, our main sponsor is, of course, Sim Inc. And that's run by James Shepard, of course, who's going to be starting this British Grand Prix 4th. We also have, of course, like to thank, of course, Simrace.tv, of course, for allowing us to broadcast the race live for you guys to enjoy. And then, of course, we've got Live Races, of course, who provide the live timing. SimSync Pro, who is obviously involved in doing the mod as well. And, of course, may as well, of course, thank Rfact as well for providing an excellent simulation to run the championship on. So, we're now going to look at, as we're waiting, let's give you a rundown of the championship standings as they currently sit at the moment. I'm just trying to get you a decent view here at the moment on track. I'm cycling through the cameras various cameras that we have available here. It's even showing us some cameras there of, I'm not quite sure it's showing us some cameras of the old circuit there, but that's not really going to be very relevant. And we've got Lucas Oilers here. We'll keep him on track at the moment. I'm going to quickly bring up the current championship standings as they sit at the moment. Now, it's very close at the top of the standings. You remember last time it was Lucas Euler with another victory last time out in Turkey. But the current standings are as follows. So the Drivers' Championship is Lucas Euler sits top with 107 points, literally a point ahead of his teammate Nick Rowland with 106. Lee Morris is still third with 85 points. Then Dave Carl-Smith, who starts third today, he is fourth on the points with 54. He didn't start obviously until Hungary this year. That was about round 4 or so. So he's a bit late into the party, but he's managed to get himself 54 points. And the only points which have been scored by Green Stripes Racing have been by Carl-Smith himself. Joe Consiglio, of course, who retired. He was driving for Nordjylland, but retired before Monaco. He's still fifth on 34 points, but Ruud Easterbeek could still get himself some points on in 6th place on 32. And just seen we've got Lee Morris in the broadcast booth with me, so it's an unexpected pleasure to have you in here, Lee. Do you have any news at all? Or?
Sorry, I was just checking broadcast working alright, that's all.
Alright, okay.
I didn't realise it was on.
That's fair enough. I suppose more quickly here, would you be okay for a quick interview beforehand, or?
There's 3 minutes, yeah, may as well. It's 3 minutes, yeah.
Okay, so you're starting, I believe you're starting 5th today. I remember you said to us, said before that you kind of, if you like, this championship's kind of gone, you're looking to next season. What do you realistically think you could possibly do from 5th place? Do you think a podium is at all possible, or are you just racing for whatever you can get?
We'll run a bit of a different strategy, as you know. So we're going to try and do our best. Podium's the aim, but it'd be very difficult. Dave's gone pretty quick in that GSR car. But I think today showed a bit of improvement, only 0.8 off Euler. I know it sounds a lot, but considering how far I thought we'd be, it's not too bad. The car's handling okay. It's okay, but the race pace isn't too good. We've done very little work on race pace, to be fair. We haven't really had time, so improvement all round, so it's not too bad.
Here's an interesting question. We've got quite a few, as I was saying in the broadcast earlier on, we've got quite a few English drivers on the grid. Do you see the possibility of an English driver winning the British Grand Prix happening tonight, or do you think it's going to be a German on the top spot of the podium tonight?
If Euler gets taken out, or something happens to him, then Nick will probably win the race, because he's got an advantage over the rest of us. But if Euler's still in the race, then I see Euler just running away with it, to be honest. But Nick were pretty close in qualifying, to be fair, and I believe he's got a good race pace, so we'll see. But it'd be nice to see a British driver win, but I don't think I'll be one of them challenging for that victory. It'd be between Euler, Dave and Nick, I presume.
And also, Keith Story as well, your teammate, he's actually up there. He was actually in the top 10 for a moment. He's actually starting 11th, I believe. He's done a pretty decent effort to get himself up there, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done a great job. He's 11th on grid, I believe, or 12th. Can't remember the exact lineup, but he only got one quali run as well because he ended up in the gravel on his second run, unfortunately. But apart from that, he's a lot higher than we've been recently, and he's got a chance of points. We've got a decent little strategy, a decent little car, done a lot of good work today, and it's thanks to Keith that we've Keith and myself obviously working together as a team, and yourself joining later on, that we've really pushed this car a bit more forward than where we thought we'd be. So hopefully we can get a double points finish today. That's the aim.
Excellent stuff. Well, there's about a minute left in warm-up, so I'll let you go and get prepped for the race. But thanks for talking to us, Lee, and best of luck for the race.
No problem. Have a good broadcast, mate. Thank you very much. Catch you later.
There's Lee Morris there for Drake Racing, who has now gone off to do that. So thank you to Lee for giving us a few words before the race. And we're just going through the points as we were, so let's quickly move on with that. We're up to 5th place, I believe. Reed Easterbeek is 6th with 32 points, so a good result point. Anything, if he scores more than 2 points today, he should be out. If he scores more than 3 points today, he'll take 5th place from Concilio, the absent Adam Concilio. Now, Yari Tanskin is 7th. We haven't heard very much from him at all, of course. We've got OJ Clark and David Jump back in the Red Archer cars again. And also looking as well, we've got Yari Tanskin currently sits 7th with 32 points. Simon Cattell is 8th with 27 points. Pavel Losky 9th with 25, and James Shepherd rounds up the top 10 with 18 points. A good effort from him. Those are mainly down to his 3rd and 4th places he's secured in the last 2 races. Now, in terms of the team's championships, we've got Midnight, of course, on top with a massive 213 points over Drake's 88. Then we've got Nordjern who are 3rd with 71, Red Archer are 4th with 55, 1 point ahead of Green Stripes with 54, but as we said, all those points have only been scored by Carl Smith. He's just a note for Green Stripes, he's joined by Christoph Lichtenstein, the team boss, in this race tonight. 6th place with Nijo Racing with 32 points, Kerno Sport 7th with 27, 8th is Red 5, who have since withdrawn, and we'll actually touch on that in a second. With 19 points, they did have 19 points, I suppose. Woods Racing are 9th at the moment with 12 points, and Hawkeye 10th with 9 points. We've now got literally warm-up has now finished, so we're now getting ready to come onto the grid. In terms of the situation that we've seen with, Red 5 Racing, the announcement came through that team boss James Shepherd. Actually, that's quite interesting because Red 5 are actually on the grid tonight, which is rather weird. But is James Shepherd on the grid? He did qualify. Oh no, sorry, he's racing Hawkeye tonight. I do apologise. The Red 5 aren't on the grid, but James Shepherd is currently racing with Hawkeye in this race. So he's taken the place of, I believe, is that Bart de Vos? Yes, it's Bart de Vos. So James Shepherd and Lewis Redshaw are in the Hawkeye racing car tonight. Now, what happened with Red 5 is that James Shepherd has decided to withdraw the team due to the fact that we had a couple of members who shall not be named who unfortunately got banned from forums from the league. Now, as a result of that, with Red 5 withdrawing, they've recently had a number of applications for a 13th team now to take over that spot on Red 5. The deadline for the teams has now passed, and we'll find out soon enough as to who's going to take that one. Teams that have been rumoured such as Multiforce, who race in Super Cup, of course Torrent Motorsports as well, who are a very well-renowned sim racing team throughout the sim racing community. And of course, there's been some rumours also, of course, that Lee Morris has put forward an application for a team. Of course, it's all speculation, it's all rumours. But we hope to see and hear that announcement very soon. But of course, you can check out all the announcements on the forums and of course on GPVWC.com. We've restarted the warm-up for a moment, I think because we're just waiting for a few more drivers to come back into the server. And yeah, but obviously if you are watching along, of course you can get your thoughts in at all. on Twitter at GPVWC. You can also join us on our Facebook page. Just search GPVWC and you can join the page for all the updates and followings and goings on in the league, in the leagues and our various championships. We're also on YouTube as well. We have our own YouTube channel. You can search GPVWC and look for the channel with the same name. We have started uploading full-length broadcasts, I believe, of both Super Cup and Super League. I think possibly maybe some other series we started to do as well. And also, of course, you can go to the website, gpvwc.com. You can sign up to the forums and get involved with some banter on the forums and keep up with the latest news. And of course, even if you think you can handle it one of the Super League car possibly in a testing role, or you think possibly you could race in any other series like Super Cup, Formula Challenge, World Sports Series is now since finished, but that's been replaced with the Masters Series. And of course, we did have an Endurance Series, but that's now being renegotiated. But there's a possibility we're going to do a World GT Series as well, but that's, of course, that's in an early planning stage, so just waiting for that one. Now, of course, just waiting for the grid to be set up. I've got a few drivers there on track. We'll see if we can get you some footage of a car out on track. Let's see if we can find someone on track to have a look at. You can do a Ben Warren out there, so here he is. Ben Warren, just quickly, a quick note, I hope you won't mind mentioning this, but Ben Warren actually races with hand controls, because he is again, no offence is meant by the cheers in the nicest possible way. He is unfortunately handicapped, but I think he does a fantastic job that he actually uses hand controls. So best of luck to him. He starts with 16th on the grid. And speaking of the grid, we have now advanced to the race session. So you can see on the top there, we're going to have 52 laps of this new Silverstone Arena circuit. There's the wing you can see in front of us here. And we'll quickly switch now to what will be on the front of the grid with Lucas Euler. And we'll go through this grid for you of 23 cars, I believe. And we'll get ourselves set for the race tonight. So, of course, are we going to get a British winner tonight at the British Grand Prix, or is it going to be Lucas Euler once again winning this race? Well, waiting for the last few cars to come up onto the grid. We have a few seconds to go, and here we go. Lucas Euler leaves the field, leads them away, and we're going to run you down then the field that we have in front of us then for the 2012 Sim Inc. GPVWC Super League British Grand Prix. So starting on pole position we have then is Mr. Lucas Euler for Midnight Motorsport. Second place then is going to be Nick Rowland for Midnight Motorsport, his teammate. Third, Dave Cosman, excellent effort for him for Green Stripes Racing. Fourth, for Hawkeye, their best qualifying result of the season so far is James Shepherd. Fifth is Lee Morris, as we heard from earlier on, hoping for a decent enough race and grab some points. Sixth place is going to be OJ Clark in the first of the Red Archer Virtual Racing Team cars. Seventh, Ruud Heasterbeek for Nijo Racing. Eighth place is David Junt in the second Red Archer machine. Ninth is Lewis Redshaw in the second Hawkeye car. And rounding out the top 10 is Tom Parker for Woods Racing. 11th is Simon Cattell for Kerno Sport. 12th is Keith Story in the second Drag Racing machine. 13th is Mark Stanton, the first of the Constant Racing cars. 14th, Kieran Wright in the second Woods Racing machine. 15th is Pavel Anowski in the Seoul Norjern car racing tonight. 16th is Ben Warren in the Nijo Racing machine. 17th is David Stanton for Constant Racing in the second car. We've got 18th place, we have Jeff Mead racing for ST Racing tonight. 19th place on the grid is going to be Daniel Lovett in the first of the Synergetic cars. 20th place is Mark Wicks for Kerno Sport in the second car for that team. 21st is going to be Scott Bennett for ST Racing, and 22nd on the grid and all by himself is Wesley Morris for Synergetic Motorsports. In fact, he's just ahead of Scott Bennett, and that is just ahead of Scott Bennett. He should be formed back into place. And 23rd and last on the grid we have is Christoph Lichtenstein for Green Stripes Racing. So then, we're watching here Lucas Euler as he, to coin the phrase that I usually use in these kind of times, the want, trying to stack the pack, get everyone closed up as much as possible. So then, are we going to see a British winner tonight? Like I said, we've got the likes of Rowland, Carl Smith, got Lee Morris up there as well, OJ Clark in there as well, possibly could get himself in a decent result on the podium, if anything, depending on what happens. Well, this man right here, Lucas Euler, will find himself on with the victory once again. Bringing the field then on to the grid for tonight's Super League race. Round 10 of the 2012 Sim Inc. GPVWC Super League, the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. And there it is, it's an all-blue front row. All in that front row. The cars then moving on to the grid, and we'll be set for 52 laps. Who's going to get the whole shot into turn 1? And more importantly, who is going to be the one that sets the pace initially here? The smart money probably be on Euler, but never count out the likes of Roland and Carl Smith and Morris and all those guys. We've got a car spun behind as well. We've got a car spun on in the background there. I can't really see who that is. It's possibly one of the synergetic cars, maybe. But he will slot himself into position. And then we will wait for the... here we go then. Wait for the reds. And before you know, the lights will be out. And away we go here at Silverstone. Decent start, Boiler, but Roland's going to try and go with him. Slot alongside. Look at Roland, he's got a better start. He's going to get the pulse right into turn 1. Is he going to get it? He does get in front. Oh, Roland leads his home Grand Prix through the first corner. Carl Smith in. Is that OJ Clark in there as well? OJ Clark with a fantastic getaway. Look at Morris trying to get up the outside. He's going around the outside of Dave Carl Smith. What a fantastic move. He's going to get up there trying to get the inside of a Lucas Euler. Wonderful start. Look at that. That was a wonderful getaway from not only Nick Rollins, who leads his home Grand Prix now, but what a start for Lee Morris. He goes and look at that around the outside of Village, past Dave Carl Smith as they head down towards. For the first time they sweep through there, as they sweep through the first few corners, and there's battles going on down. The two Woods cars are getting battle in there as well. And look at that, Euler is just getting absolutely jumped at the start there, and Roland trying to sprint away there as he heads his teammate up towards Cops. For the first time then, through they go. And it is the two Midnight cars in front, but of course, it's not the order we expected them. And the home fans, of course, if there were any home fans, of course, will be cheering on. But of course, any British fans who are watching currently this broadcast will be cheering the home favourites on. And through the complex to come for the first time, and they are going to sweep down towards. And look at that, look at Carl Smith then. We're going to look at Carl Smith then. On board he's going to be. He looks to the outside of Lee Morris. He's got the better straight line speed as he goes down towards. So, will he get the outside line? No, he won't, because Morris is going to do that. But look at the switchback that Carl Smith's got. Oh no, and look at that, Carl Smith's off the road. Look at that, he got a bit of contact with Morris, and he's lost 2 positions as OJ Clark and Heastabit go past, and Carl Smith almost outbreaks himself into Vale Corner. But he's now going to get himself back up through the field. So look at that, they're going to go through the... Who they go? There's Roland leads from Euler, then Morris, Clark in 4th place for Heastabit, then Carl Smith back in 6th, Redshaw, Cattell. Look at that, is that one of the Stanton cars in 9th place, I believe? It is, it's Mark Stanton in 9th place, what a start he's put in. 10th place is now, of course, is Kieran Ryan for Woods Racing, so Tom Parker's dropped down a lot, he's actually dropped behind his teammate in 11th place. And then in 12th we actually have, I believe, Daniel, look at Daniel Lovett! Daniel Lovett's up to 12th place, that is an unbelievable start, how did he do that? That is absolutely incredible! What a start he put in, that's absolutely fantastic. I'm surprised at just how much of a good start he's managed to pull off. You don't usually see Synergetic up through the front normally, but he's managed to at least get a jump on quite a few people. 30th we can see is David Stanton, he's actually got the jump on Keith Storey, who's dropped back a bit in the start. And we've got a bit of a battle going between Scott Bennett up to 15th. Quick looking through 16th, we currently have Christoph Lichtenstein, and then we've got Ben Warren 7th, we've got quite a few cars in the back who's dropped, but David Jones dropped way back to 18th. Jeff Mead's 19th, then we have 20th is Pavel Nowski, and the rest of the field comes streaming through. Now this is interesting, watching here, this is Roland. Look at his rear wing, and there's a menacing form of Lucas Euler, who says there's team orders in Midnight. Look at all these looking very, very menacing indeed. Might have a look at the outside, he's trying to make the outside pass into Vale, and oh, look at that, that's a classy move then for Lucas Euler. He takes the position from his teammate, but will Roland sit back and take that, or will he try and get himself back into the lead here at, you can look to the inside as Euler does the fastest lap of the race, and Euler had to Roland having a little bit of a look at that. Carl Smith trumps that with a 1:29.377. So it's all go then at the moment as oh, and Carl Smith is now back up 1 position, you can see here. Oh, and that's Clark going wide there on the exit of Village, and that's allowed Carl Smith back through into 4th place. But now looking again, Euler's starting to pull away just gradually from his teammate now, so looks like that lead was short-lived unless something happens to Euler. Not to put a commentator's curse on it already in the 2nd lap, but of course he's trying to streak away his advantage case at the moment. So, well, then trying to exert his authority over his teammates at the moment as they sweep through onto the old pit straight. Of course, Roland in 2nd place. On board then with Lee Morris in 3rd as he now heads up towards Cops. And he's doing extremely well to keep it in 3rd place, but of course he's going to have to watch, as you see there, that white figure there, white and green car that's looking behind him. That is, of course, Dave Carl Smith. He put that car in 3rd, 2 places ahead of where Morris started. Morris got an absolutely fantastic move, as you saw, around the outside of Village to take the place. And the gap is now currently less than a second now. It's down to just under 9/10 of a second. So he's taken, look at that, 3/10 of a second in 1 sector alone. Carl Smith certainly has the car for it this afternoon in tonight's race. But as we've seen with Lee Morris as many times in the past, catching him is one thing, but passing the drag driver is very much another. So a quick look back and see what's going on. We've got, I think, maybe a battle between Clark and Heasterbeek here for 5th and 6th. And keeping an eye on the two midnight cars up front. They're still pretty close together, but they're heading through the loop now as Heasterbeek is closed on them by OJ Clark. Going to head through the village. And had quite a few cars that have brought upgrades here. So actually, Dave Carl Smith was actually hoping, he's saying before the race, he was saying that hopefully it should be anything but a ball fest, and hopefully that's the case. If we get anything like what was a fantastic Super Cup race tonight that myself and Drag Racing's Lee Morris commentated on last night, and hopefully you tuned in on that one. If you didn't, basically Pedicassa got an awful start and almost he dropped it and put it into the wall off the start. Dropped down to 20th and put in a heroic drive to put himself back up to second place. He finished behind Alex Cooper. Alex Cooper's teammate Martin Schumacher, and that's Martin Schumacher, not Michael. He was leading the race from his team, but then he had what seemed to be an incident into the pits, which caused him to put tagged on an extra 45 seconds onto his stop, and that in turn lost him the race, and he eventually ended up finishing 5th, which is quite a disaster. But Alex Cooper won the race. Pedicassa still leads the championship, but of course the Super League, anything can happen. Euler then got some. Oh, that's! I thought for a second that was one of the midnight cars. It's actually one of the synergetic cars, I think. Now, is that Daniel Love? Is that Wesley Morris? Well, it's one of the. Well, both synergetic cars are out of the race already. Wesley Morris and they're both out on the same lap. That's incredible. So that's an awful luck for Synergetic Motorsports. Both cars are out on the same lap, and Keith Story's down to 21st. Keith Story's lost his front wing. Keith Story's lost his front wing. Now, where's he lost that? He's lost it obviously somewhere along the lines. Oh, let's see if we can go further back. I think yes, we can. Let's have a look. Now, where did he lose the front wing? He lost it quite a way back actually. I'm just trying to rerun the footage to try and find out where he's lost it. And where did he lose that? He's back in the pits now, and I think he's lost it. Where did he lose it? He was there contact with Christoph Lichtenstein, I think. Oh, that's why. You think at it here. That's why the synergetic was off. Oh, and there was contact with one of the constant cars, and look at that. Story got squeezed in. As a result, he lost the front wing, and that's he's back out of the pits now. He's now running last, 21st and last on the road, so that's quite unfortunate for him. As well, then you see him up front trying to extend his gap now. He's up to 1.4 seconds from his teammate Nick Rowland. As to the battle between 3rd and 4th, you're seeing here Morris then is just holding station in 3rd place then. The cars were closing all the time. The gap's now just a fraction over half a second as they come down towards Vale Corner. And if you look at that, I'm just going to quickly look through the field and see if we've got any more major battles going on behind that. We have got Clark and Heasterbeek having a bit of a battle between each other. They're actually not too far behind. You see it in the background just there. In fact, we're going to quickly switch to them. And looking at from the rear wing of OJ Clark, as you're seeing here, Rudy Heasterbeek is closing all the time. You can say Rudy Heasterbeek is always a dark horse. He's always one to get in there and nab some points. And he's definitely on the prowl today. 5th is his target. OJ Clark is the man standing in front of it. I think there's a little bit of a wobble there for Heasterbeek out of the loop. New entry off the Wellington Straight. As we do that, I'm now quickly just keeping an eye on what's going on between the cars in front of them. We do also have Cattell and Redshaw fairly close together in 6th and 7th. And James Shepherd's dropped back as well. Where's he got to? He's gone back to 19th. So 19th's got back. I don't quite sure why Shepherd's gone back up to 19th. Maybe he's had a spin somewhere or some contact. But apologies for that. We're probably watching more kind of immediate battles, shall we say? We now watch Clark, and look at Heasterbeek. He's right on the gearbox then of OJ Clark as they sweep through the complex once again. And also going to quickly check up on the progress of the battle for 3rd place. And Carl Smith's actually a little bit closer than he was last time. But currently you're seeing Heasterbeek that goes to the outside towards Stowe Corner. Clark goes defensive, and Heasterbeek just tries to drive clean around the outside. He doesn't have enough grip on the outside of the circuit, and Clark holds on. But again, Heasterbeek darts out a little bit there into Vale Corner, but again, not quite close enough to make himself much of a threat alongside. And I'm quickly watching the corner on my monitor. Then Carl Smith is just holding on. He's about 0.6 of a second behind Lee Morris as they went across the line at that point. So on lap 7 of 52 already of the 2012 Simrace GPVWC British Grand Prix. And Easterby goes down the inside of Larkin. Oh, has to lock it up. He wasn't far enough alongside going into the braking zone at the loop. But he'll have a fantastic run then on to Wellington Straight. Here's the rear wing view from OJ Clark as they go down towards there. Easterby has another look. He darts out, just letting Clark know he's there. Clark takes a wide line through there. Look at that. And oh, that's not worked out for Easterby. He went over the curves on the exit of Brooklands. And that lost him a few car lengths as they go through Lufford. So look at that. So Clark's safe for now. Probably safe to say that Easterby has a slightly faster car. And they head through Cops now, just ahead. I'm just keeping an eye again on this battle going on between Morris and Carl Smith. And Carl Smith has now closed up. And we'll take you on board with Carl Smith. Here he is. There is the ever enigmatic and very ever charismatic Lee Morris in terms of his views on whether things are right or wrong. And oh, that was close for Dave Carl Smith. He almost dropped it there, right on the entry towards Stowe. He just clipped his left side wheels onto the grass, and you can see how hard he's pushing. He's using all the track and a bit more. Now then, Waller's going to cross the line. Roland is now 2.9 seconds behind, and Roland, of course, we know he pushes as hard as he can to try and catch Waller. It just seems to be at the moment on this day once again that Roland's seems to be not quite on the same pace as his teammate. Now here, this is interesting because we're seeing here, this is, I think Morris got the entry slightly wrong into Abbey, and that allows Roland to close up, they have to close up a little bit more. And apart from that, really at the moment, that seems to be really one of the closest battles on track. I mean, really, the closest battle apart from that is Stanton and Junt, and they are currently battling over 12th place. And Junt having a bit of a look, but he's not quite close enough to make that stick. But you're still watching here. We've got third and fourth battle going on as the front two start to pull away. I think probably Morris will be surprised that he's battling for third place, but I think really, with the pace of the car Smith's showing, especially with a car that's as strong as the green stripes, just how close can he get here through on the exit of Chapel? He's actually closer than he has been, but he's closer than he has been so far. He's only 0.3 of a second off. He's out in the toe down towards Stowe Corner. Has he got enough draft? No, he hasn't. He's not close enough now and tries to go around the outside. Takes the wider line through Stowe. Morris will go defensive unless Carl Smith tries a banzai move down the inside of Vale, which he doesn't. He's smarter than that. And just behind, I think there's a back change for position, I think. And not quite, but Clark has now allowed Easterby to get onto the back of him once again. So battle's going on here, but what's going on with the two in front? Well, Morris is still holding on. Rear wing then of Lee Morris's car, you can see Carl Smith closing under braking, and he's got looks like he's possibly got slightly better traction through the slower corners. And again, or maybe not, because Morris has pulled away slightly on the exit there. And Carl Smith always has the toe ever so slightly, but just can't get that close enough. And it looks to me that Morris tried to go a little bit deeper into Brooklands, which he did. Carl Smith then, he's just holding on just ever so slightly. I think he's picking his moment here. He's trying to just put a little bit more pressure on Morris, and it's not all that easy to put Morris under pressure into forcing him into a mistake. And whilst he's talking about that just quickly, Stanton has lost the 12th place to David Junt in that process, so just changes all the while. The two battles that are going on which are the most exciting really are this battle for third place you're seeing on screen, and I'm going to quickly jump to the battle for fifth place because look at that, Clark still holding off Easterby, and Easterby is very, very close indeed. They'll have a great run onto the hangar straight, and here they come then. It's Red Archer versus Nijo. Now how much of a toe can Easterby get? He can get a very decent toe in fact. But again, not quite close enough. They're holding exactly the same line through Vale. And there's Carl Smith and Morris in the background there. Carl Smith fourth, Morris third. We'll now ride on board then with Ruud Easterby then, as he's now going to try and chase after the Red Archer racing car. I'm going to quickly keep an eye whilst that's going on the battle for third. Keep that on my screen so I can look at two different battles at the same time, or we can keep track of what's going on with that one. Anyway, bit of a slide there from Easterby, trying to put the power down. And again, Morris is now being closed on once more by Carl Smith. And look at that, look at that, Carl Smith held a really tighter line through Luffield. That may have just helped to get him a little bit more onto the back of Morris's drag racing machine. And I think really that maybe Carl Smith is just, the car's just maybe losing a bit of grip in the high-speed corners. But once again, they filter through this awesome high-speed section here. Maggott's flat in 7th, to go down to 5th for Beckett's, and then 3rd for Chappell, maybe 4th if you can snatch it on the exit. And again, Carl Smith just isn't close enough. It seems to be that Morris just about has the legs maybe on Carl Smith. Of course, winning the toe. Well, that's a look how close Carl Smith's getting now on this attempt. No, he's not. I think close or that close enough. And just watching on my screen, Clark got very sideways out of the Vale. That's allowed Easterbeek to get onto the back rear wing of him again. And look at how close Carl Smith is now. Look at the fantastic run he got off the last corner. And if he stays where he is at the moment, he's going to have a fantastic opportunity to get him to have a look up the inside into the village corner. Again, not close enough. Morris has the edge slightly on these high-speed sections. Meanwhile, Easterbeek and Clark still battle away. And quickly looking as well, Parker and Mark Stanton are now battling at the moment over 9th place. Stanton's just a little bit behind Parker. I'm trying to look again through the film to see when we've got some more battles going on, if at all. James Shepherd's back up to 13th after his what seems to be his early shenanigans, and we're now on lap 11 of 52. So quickly give you a rundown of the field as it stands. Lucas Oil then currently heads the field then, as you would expect. He has now a 5-second lead over his teammate Nick Rowland. So unless something major happens to Euler, it looks like it's going to be another victory for him. Third place, as you've been watching, is Lee Morris, but only just at the moment by Dave Carl Smith. He looks like he may have a fantastic run onto the Hangar Straight once again. 5th place now is OJ Clark, still holding station ahead of Rude Easterbeek in 6th place there. 7th place currently sat there at the moment is Simon Cattell. He's actually making his presence a bit more known in this race, albeit having a rather quiet one at that. 8th place is currently Lewis Redshaw for Hawkeye Racing. 9th place, of course, is Tom Parker, another British driver. And rounding up the top 10 is Mark Stanton. So look at that. Out of the top 10, we have, just going to calculate this if we've got it correct, we have all but two drivers are British. So we've got 8 British drivers in the top 10. So it's a fantastic run for any British fans watching, because I think the majority of the Super League drivers are actually British, with obviously drivers from Germany and Finland and not Jarl Tynes from Norway, who's actually not racing this evening, but unfortunately for them that's not what he worked out for that one. And all that's interesting, because we've now got the start of the lap back marker. That's one of the ST racing cars that both Morris and Carl Smith were lapping. And there seems to be a bit of a stalemate here between both Morris and Carl Smith, and the same situation for Clark and Easterbeek. Down towards Copse to come again. And look how close Carl Smith is this time. And is there a wheel in the middle of the track? I think there is. There's a wheel in the middle of the track, or at least the graphic of a wheel. But still, Morris then holding on just about. But look at this. Carl Smith's got the best run he's ever had onto Hangar Straight. He's closer than he ever has been. Is he going to get close enough to have a look down the inside? He's getting ever so close in the slipstream. Goes deeper through Stowe. And now towards Vale, he's going to have a look up the inside. Maybe, no, he doesn't. He darts up slightly. And just behind that, looks like Easterbeek's having a look up the inside then of Clark. They're going to go side by side. He's a bit locked up as well as the ST Racing car. Just lap goes ever slightly wide. That was the best chance that he had. And on board now with Lee Morris once again. So that we've got some interesting battles going on now between the front runners. The gap now at the front is now extended his lead to 6.5 seconds. I just watched there as well. Cosper got a big twitch out of the loop corner. And that will have helped him not at all. The gap's now up to 0.8 of a second. It was when across the line, just a fraction under 0.2 of a second. Now it's gone up by another 0.6 due to the mistake which Carl Smith has made. Look at that, doesn't waste time, does he? He's straight back on the rear wing. And closing in once again. Like a rocket ship, this thing. I wonder what green shots are fitted with this car. Rocket machine. Would that be Carl Smith the racing like he's got a rocket strap to him? Or at least shoved where the sun don't shine. But anyway, he's definitely on it this evening. Keep saying this afternoon. It's obviously it's not a real race, is it? It's a virtual simulation race. Get that right, Scott. Anyway, Morris then still third place and holding on by 4.5 tenths of a second ahead of Carl Smith as they come through. The gap's gone up by another half a second then to 6.8 seconds. And oh, look at that, they're putting together. Now then, this is interesting. Euler and Rowland, the top four, all in the pits together. So Euler is in. He's out, and so is Rowland. We're going to watch the battle for third place. Now, Morris is out. Is Carl Smith? Oh, that's close. No, Morris has actually just stopped. But another quick look on the rear wing. Watch for Carl Smith. Is Yak going to get out before him? Yes, he is. Carl Smith gets out before him. Morris goes for a longer stint on the fuel. And that's now allowed Carl Smith back up into third place. So he's now through. And he's out into a podium place. Now, Morris is going to have to do that all again to try and get him on track. But with the pace that Carl Smith was showing, I think that's going to be no easy feat. I think probably, in fact, I think Carl Smith will have the legs on him in this stint. Now then, the gap between the leaders, Euler's now extended his advantage now to Rowland by another half a second in that pit stop alone. So the gap is now between Carl Smith and Morris, you see on the screen there. It's now actually 2.1 seconds as they come across the first split. Now in fifth place, actually look at that, hasn't actually changed anything. And Heasterbeek, in the meantime, has gone into fifth place and passed OJ Clark. Maybe we can get a replay of that. In fact, he passed him way before that. We'll quickly rewind that. Apologies for. Oh, he passed him out the pits. Look at that. He passed him literally on the pit exit. He went around the outside of it. That's wonderful. Fantastic job. And Clark's not finished. Look at that. Clark is not finished at all. He's now starting to really close in. And I wonder possibly he's going to try and have a look to pass. And look at that. He's much closer down this onto the hanger straight. Look at the gap. Look at that. It's literally just under 2 tenths of a second. He's got a wonderful toe. He looks to the outside. He sweeps to the inside. Oh, what a brilliant doughy that was by Clark. Shame wasn't far enough alongside to take advantage of it. And again, he looks to the inside. Is he going to try and set it up the inside? No, he's not. He's going to back out of it and save his front wing. I'm sure his front wing will be very grateful for that. You know, they'll be saying thank you for that, OJ. I didn't want to really lose myself. But anyway, talking front wings, whatever next. Anyway, look at Clark. He's monstering the back of Heasterbeek's car. He's going to have a look into Village Corner. Will he send it up the inside? No, he doesn't. He's not quite close enough alongside at the moment. Now the gap now, I'm looking quickly, between Carl Smith and Morris is now 2.6 seconds. It was, I think, 3.1 as they went across the line, but Morris is now closed in by about another half a second. So maybe on the fresher tyres, Morris is enjoying these. He may possibly catch up. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see on that one. Gap is now 6.8 seconds between Euler and Rowland. So Rowland actually closed in a little bit. So that's quite interesting. And just watching on screen, you saw Heasterbeek and Clark are just lapped one of the ST Racing cars. I believe that's possibly the same ST Racing car that they lapped earlier on. And look at this, is interesting. Look at this. Look at the screen, and I'm looking on the times, and Rowland is actually catching Euler. He's closed in by about 2 tenths of a second in that second sector alone. And what's the gap going to be? Rowland's going to come across the line now as we currently watch. Oh, look at that quickly. Cut away. Look at Rowland. Look at Clark trying to go around the outside. Heasterbeek, look at that. He actually got a big twitch on and has to back out of it. So this is definitely, with due respect, this is definitely a much more exciting race than we've got in Turkey. Definitely got some battles going on here. Looks to me the gap is just about stabilising at the moment to 2.5 seconds between Carl Smith and Rowland in third and fourth Carl Smith and Morris, excuse me, in third and fourth respectively. Heasterbeek has pulled away just ever slightly due to the mistake which Clark made out of Stowe, and the gap's gone back up to between Euler and Rowland. It's now gone to 7 seconds, so it looks like that Euler's seen that gap increase and he's decided to put his foot down even more. That's Kieran Ryan. I've just watched this. Nick Rowland just lapped Kieran Ryan, the Woods racing car. Now behind, what have we got in terms of going on behind? James Shepherd's still 7th, Simon Cattell is 8th. Look at James Shepherd is now. Look at that. Oh, James Shepherd hasn't stopped yet, so he's possibly, maybe he's changed his strategy, and he's gone all the way up to 7th. He was 19th at one point, but he's managed to put on a fantastic effort as we've seen a few more cars have come in for pit stops. Christoph Lichtenstein, I don't think has stopped either. He's up to 13th as well. Other cars that possibly have stopped. Keep an eye on that one, but we're on lap 16, and we dare take your eyes off this battle between Easterbeek and Clark, and again we go on the rear wing of Easterbeek's car. Oiler sets a new fastest lap of the race. You see in the bottom left, 128.9. First man into the 128s of this race so far. And look at how close Clark's getting. He really doesn't want to leave the back of that Ninja Racing car alone, harassing it much. And Clark has a little bit of a look. Easterbeek braked a little later, bit of a twitch there, still from the rear end of Clark's car, behind the Ninja Racing car you're looking at the moment. And now we've got 3 cars, Scott Bennett, Kieran Ryan and Ben Warren in 21st, 20th and 19th respectively. And I think actually Carl Smith is actually starting to pull away just ever so slightly to Morris. The gap's on 2.6. Now he's closed it in ever so slightly. It's stabilising at 2.5, so it seems to be that Morris is doing all he can to hold on to 4th at least. As watching on screen here, Easterbeek and Clark are still battling. And it seems to be that maybe it's obviously. I think possibly Clark is now starting to make Easterbeek push a bit harder to maintain his gap, and that may possibly use his tyres up a bit more, which may mean that if Clark is maybe possibly dictating the pace, but it's the other way around. So it's the other way around. I apologise. The other way around. Easterbeek's dictating the pace up in 5th. But then again, look at how close Clark did. He almost tried to have a look up the inside and try to get past through the complex. There didn't quite work. Wasn't close enough. But look how close he is now. Again, the slipstream. Is he going to have another go into on board with Clark? He's going to go around the outside. Is he going to hold it? Looks to the outside. He's got the inside line now for Vale. And that's a wonderful overtake. He's pulled off around Stowe. And Clark is now up to 5th place. What a fantastic pass that was. I'm glad we caught that on camera. Wonderful stuff from OJ Clark. We know he's a very talented driver, but he's definitely shown it in the car there. And look who's creeping up behind as well in 7th place. The hard-charging James Shepherd. That's amazing. And look at Easterbeek, he's really giving it some. He's going to look up the inside again into Village Corner. He's not quite that long on the side and almost slices his front wing on the rear wheel of the Red Archer. And look at James Shepherd. Shepherd's on a fantastic charge today. This is fantastic. He's candidate for driver of the day today. 19th at one point. And absolutely charging at the moment. He's actually right on the back of Easterbeek as we speak. And let's actually go on board with him. On board with James Shepherd here, watching the 2 cars dueling in front of him. He's on a fantastic pace at the moment. Wonderful stuff. I'm keeping an eye quickly on the battle between Carl Smith and Morris. The gap is still 2.5 seconds. It looks like they're trading blows. And look at how close Shepherd's getting. You can see him getting ever so close. Easterbeek, and if he can stay where he is at the moment, I think he put himself in a fantastic spot to nab 6th. How close can he get? He's got much better speed. Cornering speed, it seems, through the faster corners. Oilers now started lap 19, as you'll see in the top left corner. The gap is now about 0.4 of a second between Easterbeek and Shepherd in front. Shepherd's losing out a little bit. He's not quite in a strong enough tow compared to Easterbeek in front, as he is trying to follow again behind Clark. Easterbeek had a look to the inside, but couldn't quite get close enough. And on the outside curve there for Shepherd, careful for that. You can spin there. Simon Cattell is 8th, as you see there. Randomly put that out. Fairly quiet race to see for Simon Cattell. He's not really done too much. He's now currently trying to hold off Lewis Redshaw in 9th. And in 10th place we currently have at the moment, because we've got Tom Parker. Now let's quickly go to that battle for 4th place. What's going on with that one? 5th place, excuse me. And here it is. And OJ Clark is still ahead of Easterbeek. And quickly just behind you can see Redshaw getting very close to the back of Easterbeek. He's really closed in on this one. Now then, what can he do on the run down towards Cops there? How close can he get, if at all? Well, these 2 running line astern. 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th. You can throw a blanket over them as they sweep through Cops corner as one. And look at the wonderful run that Shepherd got through Cops. And heading through the complex then, as Easterbeek closes on Clark. But Shepherd closes on Easterbeek. These 3 are duelling away. This could be a race-long duel, depending on when Shepherd has to stop. And look at how close he's getting here. This is the chance for Shepherd to get himself past. He's going to the outside. He's got the toe off Clark. That's a smart move. Can he hold it round the outside is the question. Answer is not quite. Easterbeek had a better grip through the inside of the corner. And holds on a shot, and Shepherd now finally pits. So of course maybe he switched his strategy slightly. You look at that. He's now, his strategy is if you like, in a parallel universe compared to everyone else. And oh, that's interesting. He's watching Lee Morris. He's negotiated both Kieran Ryan and his teammate Keith Story and lapped them both in one corner. So that's quite interesting. But you're seeing that James Shepherd is now pitting. All they're pulling away then. He's now up to 9.2 seconds the gap. And look at that. Roland's only now. He's not even literally on the old pit straight. He's only just coming onto it now. Third place is now Dave Carl Smith. And the gap between Carl Smith and Roland, which is obviously Roland in second, Carl Smith third. Gap is now about 8 seconds, or a fraction under it, for that matter. Morris is now fourth, and again, the gap is still... In fact, the gap has now gone up now. It's gone up to 3.1 seconds. I think some of that was... Oh! There was something going on in the background. That was one of the Woods racing cars, I think. That was Kieran Ryan. Now, what happened there? Is that Keith Story? Keith Story's out. Now, Keith Story is out of the race, and we need to see exactly what happened with that one, because I didn't quite catch it. Now then, what happened? Because we need to see the replay of that one. I didn't quite catch it. Oh, that's what. Oh, wow! And that's what. That's happened to Keith Story. Oh, that's way up on. Look at that. He clipped the curve. That's a glitch in the circuit. I actually got that in practice as well myself when I was practicing. And you went hard into the barrier, and that's him out of the race. But I'm pretty sure we saw something for Tom. One of the cars we saw, I think, go off was actually maybe Tom. Maybe was it Tom Parker? We definitely saw a car, I think, go off in the background, but nevertheless, bring you back to some action, shall we? Now then, Clark's still holding on to Heasterbeek. Holding off, shall we say. Mark Stanton is currently running 11th. And with David Junk 12th, Christoph Lichtenstein 13th. So those guys trying to make their way through, and of course, the second drivers here, not on the same pace, of course, as their faster counterparts. As, I'm just watching myself, Christoph Lichtenstein, 13th on the screen, ahead of David Stanton in constant racing. And look at this on screen. I'll just quickly switch to it. It just caught my attention. Look at how close he's gone to the outside there through Woodcote, switches to the inside towards Copse, and really giving it a go. He's really putting him under pressure. This could be a fantastic battle for 5th place or race long. It depends on what's going to happen in the next few minutes in the stops. Of course, I think drivers are possibly going to be going onto a 4-stop strategy, maybe 3 if they're on the harder tyre. Roland himself is now 10 seconds now off his teammate. He's coming across the line now as I'm looking at it, and he is now gone to 10.3, so it's gone up by a couple of tenths. Heasterbeek still charging and trying to nab that 5th place from Clark. Certainly giving the Englishman some headaches. And once again, we still have, as far as I can see, it's now actually we've got 7 British drivers in the top 10 because now Mark Stanton has dropped out. James Shepherd is now still 10th, and the speed that he's showing definitely suggests that he possibly getting himself rather quicker up through the field. And that was actually somebody locked up into the chicane. I'm just watching for James Shepherd in front of me. Or just looking at a different screen. 5th place then for OJ Clark. It seems to be the battle's now kind of calmed down a little bit. Nothing too exciting going on. And it seems to be that all the excitement's died down ever so slightly. The only battle that's really worth watching really is this battle for 5th place you've got on the screen at the moment. Apart from that, we don't really have anything else. It was Kieran Ryan that went out. I knew there was a Woods racing car that spun in the background. We're watching that shot, and it looks like he actually lost his rear wheel. From what I can see, I think. That's not a graphic glitch I can see on the screen, but Kieran Ryan out, and now classified 20th. Now the hanger straight, and Clark has pulled out, and that's a slightly bigger gap to Heasterbeek, as he now sends it down towards Stowe. Clark, of course, started off the season in the Synergetic car. Of course, he's since moved on and he's currently in the place of Johnny Tanskinen. But I believe he'll be there for the rest of the season, I believe, or until further notice. He's doing well to hold off Heasterbeek. He really has been one of the pleasant surprises of the year. He really has shown definite and extremely strong form for Nijo Racing. I'm pretty sure that the team bosses of Superleague will be watching on and waiting to snap him up think Chris Williams will have a hard time keeping on to the Dutch driver as they head down towards Brooklands, now through Luffields. Race is just kind of panning out, just kind of spreading out a bit more now. Like I said, still the only battle really worth showing is the battle for 5th place. Everyone else is fairly spread out. Next closest battle I can see on the track is the battle for 7th. That's between Simon Cattell and Lewis Redshaw at the moment, but the gap is about 8/10 of a second between these two. Clark and Heasterbeek once again onto the hanger straight. And quick switch to Lucas Euler. Quickly go on board with him. 13 seconds the gap now. So we can ride on board with him a little bit and just see if we can learn some of the skills as to what Euler is doing. Yeah, well, very smooth driving style. Got a back marker in front of him, that's a white car, so I suggest it's possibly, maybe, looks to be someone like one of the Mark Stanton cars, maybe, I'm not quite sure. Oops, sorry for the broadcast freezing there a little bit. Bit of a glitch. We're gonna. Ooh, that's interesting. We've got a bit of an interesting battle going on, well, there was, between that Lichtenstein, Stanton and Orlowski. That's all for 14th place, 13th place, excuse me. And then we've got, I think, also Jeff Meads in there as well. He's actually battling with Mark Wicks. And Ben Warren's only just quite rather near them as well. So AJ Clark then. He's to be getting very close. He's trying to go up the inside there towards Maggots. Brave man who tries that one. But he holds on. And down on to the straight to go. And interestingly enough, is that Easterbeek has his teammate Ben Warren coming up in front of him. And Wicks and Mead are battling in front of Warren, so that's quite an interesting scrap that's going on there. And Lee Morris is in the pits from 4th place. As all watching there, Easterbeek's trying to go around the outside, but he may have just done it. And well, Morris has exited out in 5th place, in 6th place, excuse me. And look at this. Clark, Heasterbeek side by side, Heasterbeek's up the inside of Clark. Clark's just sticking around the outside, but Heasterbeek shuts the door. But now this will give Clark the fantastic run down the Wellington straight. He's got the comes out the slipstream, heads up the inside, and then he now starts to look at that, and Clark's back up the inside of Heasterbeek, and Heasterbeek does the switchback front. Fantastic racing between these two, and look at that, almost off the tracker as Heasterbeek. He goes to the inside of Clark, down towards Copse, and Lee Morris is watching on. Look at that, and OJ Clark sticks it round the outside and holds on to 4th place. Fantastic piece of driving from OJ Clark. These two putting on a fantastic show for the viewers that are watching this evening. Fantastic stuff from this lot. As looking if there's any more battles, I think Lee Morris will be closing in on these two as well anytime soon. Obviously, he's now out there on it in fresher tyres. You see him there in the background there, the black and silver car of the ever pacey Lee Morris. Just to head through. Watching there, we've got there's Simon Cattell, Lewis Redshaw, and then there's also James Shepherd closing on his teammate. Keeping an eye on the battle going on for 4th. OJ Clark now to still stay ahead. Morris closing in ever slightly. Oh, we've got a spinner on the. I think we've got a spinner on the Wellington Straight. Now, who was that? Because that looks like to me. I didn't quite catch who that was. We do have a spinner. There was a spinner on the Wellington straight. I'm pretty sure there was. Now who that was, I need to try and find out who. But anyway, apologies for that. Now then, Clark and Heasterbeek. Give it a good go. Clark and Heasterbeek is now heading down towards Stowe. Heasterbeek all over the back of him, and that's the car going to the pits. Look at that, and Heasterbeek and OJ Clark heading together, and Euler, I think, is... Well, Carl Smith is in the pits. I think he said. Look, I think the two midnight cars have pitted already, and that's now put... Oh, that's interesting. Look at that. I have to switch because second place, Dave Carl Smith has leapfrogged. Look at that. He's leapfrogged Nick Rowland. That's an incredible piece of driving from Dave Carl Smith. Look at that. That is unbelievable. So whatever stint that Carl Smith put in, he's managed to get himself ahead of Nick Rowland. That's a fantastic piece of driving. And look at Rowland up the inside of Dave Carl Smith, and easy takes the position back like candy from a baby, in all fairness. But how will Carl Smith respond to this one? Can he get himself into the toe? Yes, he can. He's getting ever closer now. Can he get himself up the inside, up towards Cops? They're going to head up towards then Midnight versus Green Stripes. I think possibly the Midnight has better high speed grip through the corners. And they fly then through the complex. Carl Smith hanging on the coattails of Rowland. Bit of ever so slight twitch through the exit of Chapel. Now, can he get any closer down the back straight? He does close in ever so slightly, but not close enough, I don't think. Oh, look at that, the grip he's getting from these brand spanking new tyres. Well, Rowlands have had a lap to warm up, and Costa goes down the inside towards Valley, goes deep enough as he held the place. No, he hasn't! Oh, and that was very close. I thought he almost tagged the back of Rowlands' car, and he could have swung him around into a spin. But he's held on to it. Rowland holds on to second. Carl Smith keeps the third. Albeit with a bit of a gap now. As Heasterbeek has now got ahead of Clark now in the pit stops, I believe. And Morris is back up to... Where's Morris gone? Morris is down to 10th. Has Morris stopped again, I think? I wonder. I'm not sure what's happened. I apologise, I missed that on camera. If anyone can possibly tell me, if anyone's watching, if they know exactly what happened to that one, then that'd be grateful. But I didn't actually catch what was going on with that. Trying to see here exactly what's going on track. I'm trying to keep track of the broadcast and look at my own feed myself here. Looking at the top 10 here, we've got Lewis Redshaw is ahead of Simon Cattell. So he's obviously made up in the stops. And Lucas Oil against us, the fastest lap for us, won 28.769, so he's definitely on it at the moment. Definitely pushing on. So Morris has had an incident somewhere, but you look at that, he's closed right up at the back of Simon Cattell. Now remember these two, they tangled in Hungary, had a race-long battle. Eventually with an incident which saw Cattell lose his front wing on the back of Morris's car. Morris was fine and didn't suffer any damage. This is on the last lap, and Morris getting very, very racy indeed. Just to say, remember me. And look at that, he's got a wonderful run onto Hanger Straight, and he should easily breeze past his fellow Brit. He moves to the inside, and that's on pure straight line speed and getting a toe as well. And with superior grip as well. Powers past Cattell into ninth. Next target's Lewis Redshaw. I wonder if in the process Morris actually switched his strategy around maybe he dumped some more fuel into the car as well and has to go for a longer stint to get himself back up the field. Now what's interesting is just look keeping an eye on the battle for seconds, and Rowland hasn't got away from Carl Smith, and maybe did he... Whatever's happening, Carl Smith is definitely hanging on to the back of that midnight car. All this pulling away, in fact he could definitely make a pit stop and he'd still be able to... Another pit stop now, he'd still be able to get back out in front. He could make himself a cup of tea and have a tea and a biscuit and still come back out in front, I think. 26 seconds is the gap. Morris now is closing it, has already closed it, you can see then on Lewis Redshaw. Quickly go back to this battle between Rowland and Carl Smith. This is quite intriguing to see what's going on here. I'm going to go on board with Dave Carl Smith. Look at that. He got a better run through the final corners. He did from Rowland. Rowland's going to try and go defensive. He's got the slightly better straight line speed, but Carl Smith's in the slipstream. He darts out and looks to the inside to try and put Rowland off, but not so. The British fans who hopefully are watching along with this are going to be loving this. 2 British drivers, second and third, going to get on the podium. And look at that, another massive twitch from Carl Smith. He really doesn't have the rear grip that he wants at the moment, but still carries on nonetheless. As all the plugs on, and in the process, Renshaw has lost 8th place to Lee Morris. So next target for Morris is now Tom Parker. Excellent run for him, running in 7th for Woods Racing. Normally a rather unlucky team, but they're having a good run. Let's quickly switch to Tom Parker now. Here he is. Coming up to lap Ben Warren in the second Nijo car. I need you to pulls out of the way. And of course he's now going to watch as we look at the rear cam. There you can see Warren's car. Just behind you can see there, tagging onto the slipstream, is Ben Warren. Now that is Lee Morris, excuse me. And there he goes, Warren gracefully, gracefully is the wrong word, he gratefully moves out of the way. Now then, Morris of course we know is a quick driver. Just how quickly can he tag on the back of Parker? Keep an eye on that, and again, looking quickly, and Cosmos has once again closed up to Rowland. So it seems to be maybe that Rowland's pushing a bit too hard and using up his tyres a bit more. And that's maybe possibly Cosmos trying to force Rowland to go even faster. We'll have to see exactly what the exact outcome of that is. Quick update on, I've seen that it's been rather quiet for this race. It's actually Nordjern. Surprisingly, Pavlovsky is down in 15th place and a lap down. So what a fall from grace that is for Nordjern Racing. They were up there last season at the end, winning the championship, drivers' championship for my side. This team's championship was won by Red Archer. And now they've come to this, one driver in the race and down in 15th, a lap down. That's the point. That's rather less than they were expecting. You're seeing quickly on screen here, I've just caught it, and that's Morris going to go the inside of Parker. I think he's made it stick. He has. Just chops off the front of Parker's car just to make the move official. And there he goes. So that is now Morris back up to 7th place. Next target will be the battle between it's going to be OJ Clark, and look who's now in 5th place now. He's on a different strategy. It's Shepherd. He really does have a knack of making a changing the strategy and then making it work. He's up to 5th place now. Excellent stuff from him. I'm sure he'll definitely, of course, have to pit again. Quickly jump back to this battle between Rowland and Cosman, and again you can see just how close the Cosman gets under braking in that final sector. And how close can he get on the exit of the final corners to pit straight? Very close. In fact, look at that. He's going to try and look up the inside again, but not close enough, I don't think. But he's definitely putting Rowland under some immense pressure. And look at Cosman on the inside of Rowland. Will you make it sticky? Look at that. Rowland has to yield. Wonderful pass from Cosman up the inside of a loop in the HG corner, but now Rowland will have the slipstream down towards Wellington Straight. On board then, watching here as he now looks up the outside. Will he give the switch back through Brooklands? Not quite. Cosman has the superior car at the moment, or does he? Cosman's gone too wide. He's gone far too deep into left field, but he holds on. Tyres are lasting enough on this stint at the moment to give him grip around the outside. Through Cops they go. And also just quickly looking in the corner of my eye, James Shepherd is on the back of Rudy Easterbeek as well. So that could be quite interesting on what's happening there. Of course these guys are battling for 4th. This is the battle for 2nd. Looking at Nick Rowland there. Let's quickly look on from the rear wing of Dave Carl Smith. There he is. So there's Rowland. Now that's amazing. Rowland can't get close enough to get a slipstream. So Carl Smith, amazingly, he has the legs on Rowland. This is incredible. Now, unfortunately, I don't think he's going to have enough to close in on Euler, because Euler is some 29 seconds up the road. So, unless something, as you said, unless something drastic happens to Euler, it looks like it's going to be a 1st place, another easy victory. Almost boringly easy victory for Lucas Euler. But the question remains: who's going to get 2nd? There are still places to be decided. Look at that! Look at that! They've even lapped and gone ahead and lapped Pavlovsky, and I believe that's going to be for the second time. Is that correct? No, it's not. It's only for the first time. He's only been lapped once. So, but still, Carl Smith is not actually being closed in by Rowland very much. It's only really the braking areas where Rowland's actually doing it. So, but amazing. Carl Smith has the car at the moment to hold off Nick Rowland. That's amazing. That's excellent stuff from him. Now then. Quickly looking behind, Battle for Fourth is getting a bit close. Easterbeek and Shepherd are getting fairly close up to each other. We'll come back to the second place battle if we can, if we need to. Shepherd there currently holding station in 5th. See if I can find any more battles going on behind what's... They have 19 laps to go then. Oh, look at Shepherd, look at that. Up the inside over Easterbeek, he's going to get them smooth done by Maggots. Oh, that's a daring move. What a fantastic drive pass that was from James Shepherd. That is balls out stuff from James Shepherd. He's up to 4th place. That's a fantastic pass. Shepherd making this alternate strategy work. And look at the gap he's pulling on Easterbeek already. Look at this. He's absolutely flying at the moment. Shepherd is probably one of the fastest men out there on the track. Now then, I doubt he'll have anything to do to catch it, to close. He'll be able to do anything to close in on Rowland and Carl Smith. Those two are currently about 19 seconds up the track. But never mind, I'm going to quickly have to switch back to it. Good look at this. Carl Smith has now been caught once again by Rowland. He's got another toe down onto the pit straight, onto Wellington straight, and Rowland's not actually getting very close on the toe. He darts out slightly to have a look and let him know he's there. But he got very, very close through the loop and through Aintree. Maybe due to a back marker, I think it was. He's got another one here that Rowland's not going to contend with, another back marker. Oh, that's risky. Oh, what was? Oh, look at that. Oh, Stanton's holding up Carl Smith. He's trying to get past. Look at that. He's weaving frantically to get past the constant racing car, and he's just not doing it. He's not slowing down. Now he finally tries to get past. Look at that. He's not even lifting off. I'm not quite sure. Who was that? That's David Stanton. What is David Stanton doing there? He's not letting Carl Smith through at the first attempt, and Carl Smith will be furious at that. But now look at this. Stanton is actually in the way of Rowland. Stanton finally pulls out and obliges to let the Midnight through. But Carl Smith will probably have to have words with David afterwards as to what was going on there. That could also almost cost him the race, as he got put onto the grass at one point on the old pit straight up towards Cops. But nonetheless, through all that drama, Carl Smith holds on to second place. Now then, the question is Shepherd closing in on the cars in front of him? And the answer, amazingly, is yes, he is closing in. They got 16 seconds. And let's see what it is this time around if he goes across the line. He's gone down by another couple of tenths, so he's definitely getting closer, bit by bit. And I think that the fact that they got caught up behind the lap back marker of David Stanton only helped the Australian out no end. Now then, behind, Arca and Redshaw are battling over 8th, with Simon Cattell 10th. Lee Morris is still 7th, he's closing in ever so slightly on OJ Clark. And we're still seeing Carl Smith and Rowland batting away. What a fantastic opportunity that would be for Carl Smith to get himself a second place ahead of Nick Rowland on pure race pace alone. That'd be impressive to see him do that. It may not be a 1-2 for the Midnights, it may very well be a 1-3. And that's more vital points for Carl Smith to get himself up there. And of course, any points he can take out of Lee Morris, who currently sits 3rd, there'll only be an advantage. Morris is still 7th, trying to close in that gap. He's actually, look at that, he's way behind. He's actually 14 seconds behind OJ Clark at the moment for 6th and 7th. Now then, you're watching still here Carl Smith and Rowland as they head towards Abbey and Farm once again. And really, when these battles don't really happen, it seems to be that it seems to get a bit dull. There's not that too much really going on. Really, I mean, with all they're out there just dominating, we'll show you a picture of Lucas Oil to prove he does still exist. He hasn't disappeared off the face of the earth. There he is in first place. Really, whilst Lucas Oil goes ahead and dominates, well, if I'm honest, rather boringly, as he's out there just dominating the road by some 34 seconds. In fact, the gap's gone up to 38 seconds, I think. In fact, he is 38 now, amazingly. Whilst he does that, it's all just going on behind him, really. And I really wish there was someone else who possibly could challenge for one, because really, we need someone who can challenge for the race win, because it's not really getting that exciting, if we're honest. But still, he carries on. Cosworth is still second, still trying to hold off Roland. He's actually pulled out a slight gap. He's now got a gap of about 0.8 of a second now to Roland. Round look at 6th place, OJ Clark. Doing very well to hold on to 6th. And 7th, there's Morris then heading now down towards Complex, and he sweeps through. Now, what about this battle here going to 8th between Tom Parker and Lewis Redshaw? Look who's behind as well. Look at that. Simon Cattell's really closed up as well. So here's an interesting battle we can have a look at. So Parker then, 8th place. Redshaw 9th. And Cattell's closing in. On board then with Lewis Redshaw. 4 points emblazed on the rear wing. Keeping an eye on the battle between Cosworth and Roland. They're fairly close to each other as they go through Brooklands. But I'm keeping an eye on this battle going on here, and Redshaw locks up. Cattell tries to do the switchback through the double apex of Club. But he's not that close enough. He's just holding on still. And I think maybe, again, Redshaw is going to try and hold on and see what he can do. About all three of these cars are actually really close together. Goes to TV view, look at that. You can throw a blanket over these three. Look at Cattell trying to get the exit, and Redshaw got a much better run through Aintree side by side. He's forced Parker onto the curb as they go on to Wellington straight. Now Watkins, Cattell, look at that. They're almost, look at that. They're looking connecting nose to gearbox like the human centipede only in F1 form. Anyway, and Parker has got past. Parker stayed ahead of Redshaw, has got back past him, and Cattell is really close again. I'll keep it on the view of Redshaw. You can see all three as they sweep through the shot. And they're really giving it some as they go through. And look at this. Oh, how close do you want it through this 8th, 9th and 10th? This is for the final points positions. And I'm watching Cosworth and Roland are still fairly close to each other. But someone, I think, spin, or there's some smoke up at Aintree as well, I've just seen, but nevertheless, still Redshaw and Parker are battling. And James Shepherd does seem to have pitted, and he's now back down in... Yes, he is. He's made that work, though. He's only back out in 6th. He's definitely making the strategy work. He's doing a hell of a good job. Now, I wonder, because I think possibly Easterbeek and Clark may have to stop again. I'm wondering, maybe someone can confirm that. But I think we may be coming to the last round of stops, I think. And if that's the case, Shepherd's already made his pit stop. So, if that's the case, then Easterbeek and Clark will have to stop again. And that will put James Shepherd up to 4th place. Remember, at one point he was down in 19th. That's still a fantastic drive. And just behind, Redshaw's got past Parker. Just behind, I'm just seeing. Cattell is now. This is 7th, 8th, and 9th now because, of course, now Shepherd is now pitted. I believe it is. And look at that, Cattell's got a brilliant run. Slightly better traction, but Parker's holding on. Then Parker's now got that Kono Sport car crawling all over the back of his rear wing. Sweeping this way and that, trying to find a way through. He holds on ever so slightly as they head now full pelt through the complex. Once again, 14 laps to go in the 2012 GPVWC Sim Inc. British Grand Prix. And look at that, I've just seen Lucas Euler has now lapped Lee Morris in 10th place. I think Lee Morris has made another stop, so maybe his last stop to the end, I think. He's had 14 laps to go, so I think that's probably his last stop that he's done. And that's we've got two cars in the pits. We've got Redshaw and Redshaw and Parker are both in the pits. So we'll go here then. That's Parker, and he's now pulled in ahead of Lewis Redshaw. So who's going to get out first? Answer is, who's going to do it? I think Parker's just about done it. I think he's leapfrogged Redshaw in the pits. excellent pit work then from Parker. Oilers in the pits as well. He's now left and head out back on his way. And also, I'm going to watch the second because I'm going to see now if Carl Smith and Roland head into the pits because these two may be on the same strategy. And the question is, yes, they do. Now, Carl Smith heads in, and Roland stayed out. Roland stayed out, I think, in a bid to try and get us on second place. Now, is that going to work, or is that going to work against him? We'll have a quick look at Carl Smith's pit stop, and he has stopped. There he is. Quick stop, 6.4 seconds. 0.5 really, if we round it up. And now he will then go to chase. He's going to have a phenomenal outlap to hold on to that second place. And we wait in anticipation to what's going to happen here. Now, that's it. He's to be Clark has now stopped. And here comes Shepherd then. This will now give fourth place to James Shepherd. This is going to make it is going to happen. And there he goes. He's now up to fourth place. Now the question is, what's going to happen next? Because that looks like that's not Jacob Smith in front, by the way. That is actually Christoph Lichtenstein, who's the other car there. Now I'm going to switch back to Nick Rowland. He's now on the pit straight, on the old pit straight, I should say. And just as a quick note, Euler got out, and he's still 22 seconds ahead of the battle for second now. Here goes Rowland then. We're going to stay with Rowland. I'm going to keep my eye on for Carl Smith. He's now already gone through Cops. He's now going down now up towards the complex. So I don't think it's going to be enough. I think possibly Carl Smith has done enough. I think maybe to hold on to second place, but that's a maybe, and a rather big, full-bodied maybe at that. Big round full body maybe. And Rowland does now pit. Rowland is in the pits now, so we're going to go on board and see exactly what happens. We'll go to the page. Let's go to this view here. And it's not really a realistic view, but there we go. Now, it's not going to be enough, I don't think. I think Rowland's made a mistake, because now look at this. Carl Smith is only coming through the final few corners. And Carl Smith is going to take third place. He's going to second place back again. He's going to do it. Carl Smith makes the outlap work, a phenomenal outlap, and he's done it. He's taken second place, and by some substantial margin. He really, Rowland exits the pits now, and he really has made that work. Although that said, Rowland isn't too far behind. He's only about a couple of seconds behind him. So this is going to be interesting. It's going to be battle for second place. The battle lines have been drawn with 12 laps to go then. And look at that. In the process of both of them hitting, the gap is back up to 34 seconds between first place Euler and second place Carl Smith. There, Carl Smith, what a fantastic drive he's put in. And this is interesting, a bit of trivia for you. All drivers in the first four places, that's Lucas Euler, Dave Carl Smith, Nick Rowland and James Shepherd, they all currently, or have, been part of Midnight Motorsport. So there you go. Not really surprising we're going to see the top four in here. It's kind of pretty much the same top four we've seen before in recent times. Seems to be these four putting a bit of a rampage then of the Super League in different teams nonetheless. Shepherd in the Hawkeye car for this race, and of course the car you're seeing on screen, which is of course you've got Nick Rowland of course there, and Dave Carl Smith holding second. Lucas Oil that now a gap up to 35.8 seconds. Used to be currently sits fifth, I can see. But what we'll do, we'll give you a rundown of the run order at the moment with 11 laps to go then in the 2012 GPVWC Sim British Grand Prix. Careful language. We've got Lucas Oil as you would expect. If I'm honest, I'll be brutally honest, rather boringly leading by another 36 seconds. From Dave I was saying Nick Rowland. Can't be right, because he should second place. Third place. That is right. Now what's happened there? Because I think what's happened there? Because I need to see that, because what's happened there? I need to see that, because that's I'm not quite sure what's happened. Has something happened to Carl Smith? I think maybe it has. Let me look at the live. That's not the live feed, is it? I'm trying to find the live feed here. Now, what's happened to Carl Smith here? Because I didn't quite see exactly what happened. Apologies for me rewinding the broadcast. I'm trying to bring to you exactly what's happened. Oh, that's what's happened. Carl Smith got a big twitch out of the. Have a look here. Oh, and that's what it was. A huge slot. Look at 360 spin. Look at that. From Dave Carl-Smith, he held it all together. But in the process, he's lost second place. So that's unfortunate. All that hard work which Dave Carl-Smith put in, he's going to have to do it again to grab himself at second place once more. So there we go. Here's a live action again. And, well, where is he in comparison? Well, there is David Junts. And he obligingly moves out of the way. The gap is now 1.2 seconds. Wow, what a dramatic 360 spin that was. I think he clipped the inside curb a bit too much, then he just lost the back end of the car. When you're on those curbs, seriously, especially here at Silverstone, especially on that curb on the outside of Copse, or the exit of Copse, is a curb that if you get it wrong, it can spin you round and really have you spinning right round like a record, baby. Right round, right round. Indeed. Anyway, we've got a battle going on in front for 7th place between Simon Cattell, Tom Parker and Lee Morris. Morris then is getting very close then to the back of Tom Parker's car. And of course we've then got, I think, Euler is now, yes he is, he's coming up to those three, so this is going to be the second time that Morris is going to be put a lap down. I can see that Scott Bennett and Kieran Ryan have been the two latest retirements from the race. Danton is out with a blown engine, and Scott Bennett just has retired with a DNF, so obviously he's had some kind of off somewhere. Quickly running you down the rest. Sorry, let's quickly run you down the rest of that top 10 again, as we were going to do. So as we can see them in order, you can see all that again. As we said, as we've already stated, rather boringly up in front place again. All due respect to all those fantastic driver, but this really is getting the dominance is getting a little bit, in my view, tedious. In second place, Nick Rowland, who's now, look at that, he's been caught once again by Dave Carl-Smith, and look at that, he's on the warpath. Wants that second place back, no doubt about it. As they negotiate, I think that's past Jeff Mead, yes it is. He's the only ST racing car left now that Scott Bennett was out back on lap 36. And there's Dave Carl-Smith for the record in third place with the BMW engine Green Stripes racing car. Fourth is James Shepherd, fantastic from him, providing he was 19th at one point. Then we've got in 5th place we have Rui Heasterbeek, now all on his own in 5th place. And OJ Clark, who's now had seen the Dutchman drive away from him, in 6th. Of course in 7th we've got the battle between these three. Cattell's pulled away from those two. Look at that, Morris has now got up into 8th place. Has got past Tom Parker. Oh, and Tom Parker's gone across the runoff area there as he's just let Lucas Euler through, the race leader. And currently in 10th we have, well, there's Lee Morris. Now, why does that happen? Because Lee Morris has gone backwards again. He was back up there. So, oh, that's why he spun it. He lost it going over he took too much curb through farm, and he's got the car sideways. Somehow managed to keep it into a slide and got it all together. But he's lost 3 places in the process, or 2 rather, because he was in 8th. He's now dropped behind Tom Parker once again, and also Lewis Redshaw. So that's not bad. Both Hawkeye cars now in the top 10. Good race for them, and a decent points haul they'll get from 4th and 10th. But I've got to go back to the battle for second because that's halting up as well. The lead between these two. No, go back to the live camera. Here it is. Now Rowland, just look at that. You can see Kaufman's got a much superior car at the moment on the grip that he's got. These two battle starts in qualifying with these two trying to get the front row of the grid. Rowland won that one, but then Carl-Smith actually managed to pass Rowland in the stop, and I think it was the second round of stops, and that in turn allowed this fight to commence. But still, we're going to go on the rear wing then of Nick Rowland's car then as he looks back at Dave Carl-Smith. What has Dave Carl-Smith got in mind? Has he saved these tyres enough? Or has he used them all up trying to close back in on Rowland? And if so, when he gets back past, can he pull away? And if so, for how much? Or can Rowland take it straight back? Well, Dave Carl-Smith isn't really closing in all that much. He's not in the toe too much as they go through Stowe. But of course, when through the corners, he'll lose the front end grip because of the dirty air coming from the back of that car. Or dirty air effect. And look how close Carl-Smith got under braking there. He's almost went a bit too deep through the corner. But he's held on. here through the first few corners then. As Roland and Carl Smith once again battling. And I think really, Carl Smith has to just possibly try and force Roland into a mistake. If he can do that, he will have an absolutely excellent chance of getting himself into second place. Nonetheless, whatever happens, if he stays where he is, we'll have 2 British drivers on the podium, which would be fantastic for their home races. And quickly looking on the corner of my in-game monitor display, I'm looking at Morris and Redshaw. Morris getting very close to Redshaw through Stowe. I'm watching here. I don't really take my eyes off this battle for second place because it's going to be too intense. But looking here, Redshaw and Morris are battling away for 9th. Now I think Morris is going to take that position away from him. I think it's really only a matter of time, but we'll see exactly what happens. There's James Shepherd in 4th, doing well. And quickly looking back to this battle for second place, I really don't take my eyes off it because it's definitely a battle that's full of intrigue, and see exactly who's going to grab this. Oops, headset fell off my head then. Rather unfortunate. Looking through towards the end of the race, in 6 laps to go. This is not over, not by a long shot. Hold on to your seats because this could be a wild ride to the end. And now I'm looking at Lucas Euler is coming up to lap 7th place Simon Cattell. It's pretty extraordinary. Forward Dave Carl Smith then, just watching ahead. Carl Smith, I think, now, as I said a couple of laps ago, has he used his tyres a bit too much? Is he possibly struggling just to try and a little bit extra to try and get into the toe of Roland to get off the back of him, or is he just holding out for a mistake? Because Roland's not an easy guy to make a mistake. You're seeing Carl Smith is the one that used too much curve through Copse, and then just lost it and lost the second place that he had so tightly held in his hands, and he unfortunately made the mistake of dropping it, quite literally. 5 laps to go, and this is going to be an interesting finish to this race. Another back market. It's another constant racing car. Is it David Stanton again? I need to have a look and see if it is. I'm just trying to find the number tags again so you can see those. And look at that second, but look at this! And Carl Smith and Roland are really giving it some through this section here. There we go, they've got the names back, apologies for that. And they've both negotiated that, but they've got Ben Warren's and they're going to get past, and Carl Smith is as close as he's ever been right now. This is a great chance for him to get this pass done. Rear wing of Nick Roland's car. Carl Smith's got a fantastic run, he's used the toe, Ben Warren, they're going to go down towards Stowe Corner. Carl Smith to go around the outside, he hasn't got the grip. And Roland holds on, but Carl Smith tries to do the switch back around the outside. And he's going to have a look around the outside towards Van. He's going to make it stick. The answer is yes, he is. Yes, he is. Oh, what a fantastic move that was. Oh, no. No, he's so deep. They made contact. And Carl Smith carries on. Roland stays in 3rd place. He got down to 3rd place. Now, is Carl Smith going to give that place back, I wonder? Is that going to happen, I wonder? Is he slowing up? Has he let him through? I don't think he has. No, Carl Smith is... Or is he going to let him through now? I wonder if he is. Yes, he is. He's letting him through. Waiting for the right moment to do it. And look, oh, Roland's gone too deep. Roland's genuinely gone too deep. And Carl Smith then is back in the prime seat. And look how close he is this time. Fantastic opportunity to take 2nd place back again. This is the battle we have to stick with, and I think for the rest of the race, of course, we'll cut to the cut to Euler when he comes home to finish the race. Now then, what can Carl Smith do now? Because now